Hello everyone and welcome back to the Bantamweight Boxing YouTube channel. I'm your host Michael Waite and today is in fact Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Don't worry, if you're single like me, you still got boxing and that's the only love I need. Also, another thing before we get into this, look at this jumper. Look at that bad boy jumper. Bush! Big Mike Tyson. And if you look carefully, you can see Mr. Waite himself in the front row. So yeah, pretty cool that. Anyway, today we're talking about the gloves are off between Amir Khan and Kell Brook. I just went and watched that gloves are off just now. I thought I'd just put on the camera and give my reaction to it and see if, you know, we can predict anything from the fight, if it's going to give away any of the game plans, etc. So let's get into it. I think the main thing you take away when you watch this gloves are off is how much Brook hates Khan, hates Khan. They both dislike each other and it's clearly personal. There's no faking that. You don't need any promoters for that. But Brook hates him so much more than Khan, I think, hates him. You know, you see it throughout the gloves are off. The look he gives him, the constant reference to wanting to knock him out every 2 minutes. He's just dead eyeballing him, just like, I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to knock you out. But it did seem that Brook was a bit rattled, I have to say. It does seem like he was a bit rattled. Khan was very composed throughout the whole gloves are off. He kind of seemed like someone who had done this quite a few times before. Seemed emotionally invested, but not to the extent Brook was. There was a few times where Khan was kind of laughing at Brook, kind of mocking, well, he was mocking him the whole way through, to be honest. And it does seem that Brook is like a bit obsessed with Khan. It does seem like that. And Khan says it himself. He's like, mate, you're obsessed with me. But, you know, you've always wanted to chase the fight. You've always wanted to fight me. You're obsessed with me. And there is an element of truth to that. But it's even more than that. Brook is almost like obsessed with gaining Khan's gratification. Gratification, is that the right word? Gaining Khan's respect and, you know, getting Khan to admire what he's done in the sport. You know, it's almost like a father-son relationship where he's like, I want you to be proud of me for getting a world title. And they even like talk about that in the, sorry, my barnet is an absolute mess right now. Just looking at it. But they even talk about that, you know, you've never respected anything I've done in the sport and all of that. And I'm sitting there thinking, what, Brook, why do you give a shit? Like, you're about to fight this guy, you're about to knock him out. Like, you don't need his respect. Like, you know, you should feel confident enough in what you've achieved in the sport. But yeah, it's an interesting kind of dynamic that they have. And I don't think you see it in many fighters because these two have had such a close relationship. Like, they've known each other for so long. Their names have been spoken together for so long, but they've never been able to settle it in the ring until Saturday night, which I cannot wait for. But yeah, that's the main thing I kind of got. Brook seemed very angry, very tense the whole way through. They reference that, you know, Khan even says jokingly, like, you know, relax, mate, it's just a bit of fun, which is obviously the worst thing you want to hear when you are really annoyed, is someone telling you to calm down. But, you know, Khan played the game very well. And it's interesting that you know, with Brook, if he is really tense, if this is genuine hatred, which it does seem to be, because there's good and bad with that, you know, hate and anger and that tense is a great motivator. You know, if you really want to beat that guy, you really want to knock him out, that's going to get you in the gym at 5 in the morning. That's going to get you on those nasty runs. But unfortunately, it comes with another side where if you can't control that anger and you see red in the ring, you don't execute the game plan. And at this top level, well, I say top level, but, you know, they are still elite boxers. But at that level, if you don't exercise a game plan, you know, you're going to struggle against the other guy if you just go in there swinging and wanting a war, which is what Brook was saying a lot of the time, a lot of the way through this. Like, I want to go to war, I want to go to war. So it'll be interesting to see on fight night if Brook can channel that aggression. And Nelson even mentioned that. He asked him, do you think you can? You know, you're going to be able to control this anger. And Brook wasn't particularly convincing in his response. You know, he said like, yeah, but I don't know. So we'll see. But in terms of saying who kind of, everyone always talks about who won that gloves are off. I think you've got to lean to Khan, really. I don't think anyone came off badly. No one came off like Charles Martin saying, I'm going to walk this world like a god or something crazy like that. No one came off terribly, but it definitely seemed like Khan was the more composed, of the two, and I think played with Brook just a little bit, toyed with him a little bit. Although there were some cutting lines from Brook, which I did like. At one point he said, I think I wrote it down somewhere, where he's saying along the lines of, you know what it feels like to get knocked out, and you're going to know what it feels like again. And obviously what he says is not Shakespeare, is it? It's not poetry, but it was the way he delivered it, and his eyes are just dead on Brook, looking through his soul, and you just know he is going to do everything in his power to put that man on the canvas. But yeah, I would kind of say Khan kind of felt like he almost felt like a second interviewer in it. It was almost like Khan and Nelson were interviewing Brook in a way, because he was so riled up. Like, one of the last questions is from Nelson to Brook, and he asks, is this personal for you? And I think it's quite poignant that Nelson chose Brook to say it to, not Khan, because he just knew through that whole 20 minutes of them talking that Brook was, sorry, I keep getting them mixed up, but Nelson just knew through that whole 20 minutes Brook was just slowly getting more and more and more angry, until the kind of ultimate point of where they asked to shake hands, and Khan just goes, yeah mate, I'll shake your hand, after all of that. And Brook's just like, no, I'm not shaking your hand. Which to me, from an outsider, looks like someone who's got your mental number on you. Do you know what I mean? If you can reach your hand out and say, yeah, I'm cool with shaking it, and the other guy's like, no, I can't. It looked to me like Khan kind of may have taken that. But it'll be interesting to see, because we know now Brook is definitely been training for this fight. He's definitely been getting up and working for this fight. But can he control that aggression? We'll see. Other things we can touch on. They spoke a little bit at the start about who actually wanted the fight. I think it's quite clear that they both kind of admit that Brook was really the one who was driving for it. And I don't think Khan was scared to take the fight, but I think he just saw bigger paydays and he wanted to be in America. So, and those big money fights in America, and he knew that Brook wasn't going anywhere. So, they kind of settled that in a way. They spoke a little bit about the sparring. We've heard a lot about this. I think it was quite a while ago. It seems like Khan did get his number, but to what extent we don't know. But sparring, and this, we're talking a long time ago. They're not the same fighters they were when they were sparring. But yeah, overall, the gloves are off is brilliant. I loved it. Really excited for the fight. I'm not going to give anything away about my predictions just yet. I think after everything I've said here, my prediction might shock everyone a little bit, but we are going to be talking about the fight on Wednesday in the podcast. So tune in then when you hear all of us discuss the fight in depth and give our predictions. But anyway, thank you guys for listening. And please like and subscribe. It helps the channel loads. And goodbye.